Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum friends. Welcome back to the latest transfer update that we have for you guys today afternoon. Please, if you can subscribe to the channel, press that like button as well. Give in your suggestions in the chat box or in the comment section below. Now we have lots of updates. It has to do regarding Serie A as well as Bundesliga. We do have some reports regarding Premier League, and I want to start straight away with Arsenal. And we do know that Arsenal are planning for next steps to unveil Zinchenko. Everything is agreed between Arsenal and Manchester City regarding the fee. Now we do know that Arsenal are looking at the medical right now, so he needs to complete the medical before it is done officially, and then both of the clubs will announce. We also know that Manchester City are looking at the replacement for Zinchenko, and the main candidate is Cucurella of Brighton. The fee is being discussed in £40 million. There might be some add-ons as well. So that means Manchester City will earn £32 million, 30 million in full plus 2 million in add-ons, and that will be about 32 million. Whereas Cucurella is going to be a little bit costlier. Is going to be, I think, about 40 to 45 million pounds. So Manchester City will go back in for him once this Zinchenko deal is over the line. Now, talking about Arsenal looking for Telemans, they have been speaking to Leicester City. They want to complete this Zinchenko deal, and in during that, if any news comes around that they have agreed a fee with Leicester City, it will be that there will be some medicals and maybe some sort of player agreement, and that's what it will be. So far, we are still waiting for this Zinchenko. Once this is done, then we will hear more about Telemans. Now, talking about in another news, we're going to go towards Wolves. There has been some updates in regarding an outgoing. Official and confirmed, Wolves now announced that Fabio Silva has signed a new one-year contract, and then he has completed a season-long loan move to Anderlecht. So he will be moving to Belgium, where he will play for one more year, and then they will see what do they decide in regards to the future. Whereas Ruben Neves, still there hasn't been any talks regarding him. No club has come forward in terms of putting a bid, or they have put their interest in a solid form saying that they need to buy the player. So far it has been pretty quiet on that front, so let's see what will happen going further into the future. Now we will be heading back to Serie A, and there's so much to talk about regarding Juventus, so we want to talk about that. Bremer deal, Juventus submitted 40 million euros guaranteed fee bid plus 7 million euros in add-ons. Inter proposal is lower, 30 million euros plus Cesare Sadassi as part of the deal. Juventus are now pushing to complete the deal with Torino as soon as possible. So Torino need to make a decision. There is a proposal from Inter Milan as well as Juventus. So let's see what happens. So Bremer will finally be getting his move. Now we'll be also talking about another deal which is happening regarding Juventus. We do know that De Ligt will be moving to Bayern Munich. Once that is sorted, then they will most probably move out for another defender. Now that defender has come in quite surprising. Let's see if they will go back for Pau Torres, but if they go for Bremer, that means most probably they won't go for Pau Torres. So let's see what happens on that front, but I'm still hoping to hear some news on Pau Torres. So we'll have to be patient, let this De Ligt move happen, and then we will see what will Juventus do. But in case if they're going for Bremer, I don't know if they'll have enough to go for Pau Torres. But let's see what happens on that front, and we'll be patient enough to find out. Now, speaking about Bayern Munich, a big news has come up in their way, which is that Bayern Munich are feeling confident to sign Lehmer. They want to add De Ligt first, and then they will try to bid for about 18 to 20 million euros to RB Leipzig for Lehmer. He has just 1 year remaining on his contract, so most probably he will be playing in Bundesliga. He needs to stay in Bundesliga. He thinks that moving to Bayern Munich will be a good move, and we might see Lehmer playing alongside Matthias de Ligt in Bayern Munich. Now we do know that Bayern Munich are really looking at the striker position. So far no name has come up front, so we'll have to wait and see if there is some development in regards to that, or maybe they will play with a different sort of formation. Let's see what will Nagelsmann do in that regard. Now talking about Ajax, we're going to be speaking about another player from Bundesliga. It's Brobbey, who plays for RB Leipzig. Now they are closing on to the final details for the Brian Brobby deal. Then it will be completed and sealed on permanent transfer. The contacts are still ongoing. The personal terms have been agreed between the player and Ajax. So he will follow Bassi as well as Conchao as a new Ajax signing. So that means Ajax are working pretty hard in terms of acquiring new players. So far they have been doing good. Now we also know that in regards to Anthony, so far the news which is coming out is that Manchester United have been given a figure of 80 million euro. Now will Ajax budge on that fee? We still do not know. It depends on what United do with Frankie de Jong first, and then we'll find out later what will they do in regards to Anthony, because United only want to pay 60 million euros. 80 million euros is a little bit too much for them, and maybe Ajax, let's see what do they do, what will they decide. So far they didn't make any sort of compromise on Lisandro Martinez, so most probably they will not do same with Anthony. So let's see what happens on that front. Still there's a long time in transfer market, and these sort of things do tend to happen, but you never know. When there is a serious discussion, serious talks are ongoing, then you never know, there might be some sort of compromise from both of the sides. Maybe United end up paying a little bit more than 60 million euros. Maybe Ajax would be willing to accept a little bit less than 80 million euros. So we'll see onto that. Now in another transfer we're going to be talking about Luis Suarez. He is on his way to Colombian striker Luis Suarez, not the Uruguayan one. He is on his way to Marseille in order to complete a medical test, and then he will sign as a new Olympic Marseille player, and that means he will be joining on a 5-year deal. Olympic Marseille are really doing good in terms of business, and we do know that Tottenham have signed, it's confirmed, Spence on permanent deal from Middlesbrough, £12.5 million plus some add-ons, and long-term contract has been signed. So he'll be the 6th summer signing for Conte. So that means Spurs are really doing good in terms of transfer market. Now in regards to another news, we do know that apparently Jonathan Klaus will undergo medical test as a new Marseille player. So that means Marseille have basically been quite busy. They're getting Luis Suarez as well as Jonathan Klaus. They've already got the player from Guendouzi from Arsenal. So that means they're really working hard in order to get him. Now we will be also speaking about Takefusa Kubo, who will undergo medical test in the next hour as a new Real Sociedad player. 6.5 million euro fee is the fee which has been accepted, and that means he will be joining the new club until 2027. Now speaking about other news, we're going to be speaking about AC Milan as well as Leeds United. We do know that AC Milan are now getting closer to sign Charles de Clateret. Possible mission is that he signs and everything is done on Wednesday. So that means AC Milan will get to sign him. Leeds United, remember, bid 30 million euros, whereas AC Milan bid for 20 million euros. Now Leeds United are also interested in Nicolas Pepe of Arsenal. So far they do know that Sevilla also need the player. Let's see what will Arsenal decide. I'm sure that Arsenal will be looking for a permanent deal. They want to raise some cash because they want to spend that money in the transfer market. For that reason, I think £25 million will be a good fee, and there might be some sort of add-ons, but Nicolas Pepe hasn't been able to do anything good while he was at Arsenal. Maybe Leeds United or Sevilla do get him, and then he can go and play for his new team. We do know that Rafinha has moved to Barcelona, whereas Leeds United have that money to spend. So that is why they're looking at Nicolas Pepe. Let's see what happens going further. Now we also do know that about Manchester United, they are still speaking to Barcelona regarding Frankie de Jong. There has been some sort of update regarding Frankie de Jong. That update is basically Frankie de Jong and Barcelona have apparently agreed to solve that deferred payment issue, which means that there will be some sort of an agreement between the player and the club. Now the key goal over here is, does de Jong wants to move to Manchester United or not? Because if he thinks and if he believes that he wants to stay at Barcelona, then he will have to take the pay cut. But the catch over here is Jules Koundé. Remember, Jules Koundé is being looked at Chelsea again. They have restarted the talks. They want to get Jules Koundé over the line. Maybe that is the reason that Barcelona are hurrying really over to get Jules Koundé. Now if this race gets tensed and Barcelona really want the player, I think they will have to convince Frankie de Jong to leave Barcelona and go to Manchester United. Now, so far, we haven't seen any evidence coming from the club itself asking him to leave at all costs, because if that was the case, then Frankie de Jong would have really said that, you know what, I don't want to stay. But still, there isn't a compromise being made from behalf of the player in terms of for the next season salary, because the next year's salary is going to be around 24 million euros. So that's going to be a little bit too much for Barcelona in order to pay to their stars. Now, I think what will happen is most probably either he'll have to take the pay cut, or either he will have to accept what the ground reality is and move to Manchester United. So let's see what happens going further. I think by maybe this weekend we'll get to find out more, because United do not want to waste any more time. It's better for them to go out and look for the other alternatives. Remember, Erik ten Hag has said in the interview, which was yesterday, he said the importance of the holding midfielder, and he thinks that de Jong is the perfect candidate for that. This discussion about Frankie de Jong not being the holding midfielder is now out of the question, because Frankie de Jong is seen by Erik ten Hag as the perfect player who could play in the holding midfield position. So let's see what happens on that front, and we'll see by the weekend will be more clear what will happen with this one. Now, talking about Tottenham, we do know that Tottenham director Patrasci is in Milan. He is speaking to them. Apparently, Milan are interested in Tanganga, and we could see him joining Tomori in Milan, and that is what's happening. So Tottenham are trying to see if they could send him out on loan. So most probably we'll get to see him playing in Milan in the Serie A. Whereas in another news, Milan have also re-signed Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who will be playing as a 41-year-old, and this man doesn't get old. Seems that he is still running. He can still play for next 2 to 3 years, and he doesn't seem to give up. Maybe that is the reason Cristiano Ronaldo wants to still play while being on the top of his game. So let's see how the next season goes. It's 1 to 1.5 million euros in terms of salary, and that is what the case it is right now. And in other news, we have got something to do with West Ham United. We do know that Broja has been in talks, and it seems that West Ham United want to make this deal over the line, either in loan, either on permanent, but most probably we'll see it happening in permanent. Remember, Chelsea are trying to get Kimpembe from PSG, 50 million plus 10 million euro add-ons, plus Jules Koundé, similar bracket of 40 to 50 million euros. That's about 100 million euros, and if you add Koulibaly, that goes up to 40 million euros. In pounds, it come around to 125 million pounds. Chelsea do need to raise some cash. They need to have one midfielder plus a striker. So let's see what happens in that area. But so far, we do know that Chelsea would want to sell these kind of French players and raise some cash, and we will see that happening, because West Ham United are edging closer to sign both Lingard and Broja. So hopefully, guys, we will get to see more and more news. The last one, just before going out, I'll be speaking about Napoli. Napoli director Giuntoli has said that we have received no bid from Bayern Munich regarding Victor Osimhen. These are all transfer rumors. That's what he has implemented. Maybe Bayern Munich are talking behind the scenes to get Victor Osimhen. Now, what will be the fee? We do not know. Sometimes these kind of transfers do come out as a surprise, and I think maybe the Napoli director is trying to raise a little bit more money, a little bit more value on his player. And that is the reason he has come out in the open and said that, you know what, we're not talking to Bayern Munich regarding Osimhen. Most probably there will be an inquiry made by Bayern Munich, and Napoli would be responding out in the public saying that, you know, we do not agree with your valuation. If you're interested in our player, then you need to raise your offer. And that, it seems, what is happening right now with this statement. Also, we are not in talks to sell Hirving Lozano. We count on him for the season. There you go. We want to keep Fabian Ruiz. Kim Min-jae is an option. Merit will sign a new contract. So he's just basically summarizing about Napoli. So guys, this is the update we have so far, and hopefully we'll be tuning in later for the evening. So please do subscribe to the channel, press that like button. Please share this channel with your friends who are into football. So hopefully I'll be tuning in for the evening session, and there'll be plenty of news to be reported. So thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you soon. Have a nice one.